And here we are with the second instalment of the Charraig Mhor past and present senior players. And this interview we have former senior player, championship, 6-time championship winner, many leagues, Seamus?
Uh, five or six,
Five or six
five or
leagues.
six, robbed of one or two, give or take, but 5 or 6.
So we have Seamus McCallan here, strong family tradition with Charraig Mhor. So how long did you play for Charraig Mhor, Seamus?
Started in Jim Devlin Cup 89 and finished county final 2006, so 17 seasons ago.
17 years. That's the Jim Devlin Cup final against Charraig. You scored a goal.
Jim Devlin Cup, well done, Dave.
Remember that? In Oma.
Thanks, Michael O'Hare.
In Oma.
Black and white TV.
So 17 years. What's your earliest memory of Charraig Mhor football?
81. 81 county final in Dungannon, being beat by Derry
Loughlin.
That would be it, because I fell along the wire and Dungannon didn't burst the place at the time, so there was a broken bottle, so I fell and got stitches, but never claimed or anything, but that's my earliest memory, Ronan.
Could you maybe stick on a claim yet? You know.
Well, people on it. But
What's your greatest moment playing for Charraig Mhor?
2001 county final.
2001.
Against Errigal. Look, their 95 obviously was amazing. But 2001 we had won it in the 90s, and we had come back under Raymond and that in the late 90s, and then Errigal took it away from 2000, and the general consensus was with this mixture of an older team and younger boys, and I was only 29 or 30 and I was classed as one of them older boys, and it was a big thing with Monroe being away and him having helped us, and the way we won it that year was...
Yeah, he landed at half time.
That's right, that's right. Came in at half time, but I just never witnessed anything in the changing rooms like that before the game. There was just something that day that made it was destiny for us to win it.
I remember Francie Grugan sticking a thing on the dressing room door. It was the Throne Times had done an expert's view, and I think it was at 15-2 in favour of Errigal for that day.
Yeah, Adrian McGurk and somebody else, I'm not sure, maybe in our Billman. Going for Charraig Mhor, so that was huge. Plus Errigal were at themselves too. So look at that, 2001 would be the one that done it.
Very good. Who's the best player you think you played with for Charraig Mhor?
Jesus, Rowan, where do you start? I played with lots of good players. The best, as in the most influential. Hard to say. There were so many but influential. I would say Wee Barney, McGardy, Monroe, Wee Barney, McGardy, on his day David. Hard to say, Ronan, but I would by a whisker, that triumvirate of Wee Barney, McGardy and Raymond were serious players.
Yeah. Who was the best player you played against?
James Devlin.
Merton.
Pat McKeown. James Devlin would be, especially that had 92, 93 semi-finals in Indoor. Roman, I was thinking then you were at yourself and you soon learned the hard way.
It was an education.
An education. I knew where to be around the middle of the field, and you thought you were going to outrun him and outthink him, and you didn't. And you soon learned, this man's so good.
Nice. Growing up, did you look up to any particular player when you were young, played for Charraig Mhor?
That's a good question. When I was a younger player growing up, older than me, obviously, a fair bit older than me. Growing up in Charraig Mhor is strange, because I would have went to watch senior football, and because it was the 80s and we weren't in a great place in the 80s, a lot of my football was concerned with the youth and what we were winning, the juvenile, minor and under 21 and that type of thing. Raymond Monroe again. I tried a player I looked up to, and even at youth, and just looked up to him back into senior. It was only 2 or 3 or 4 years, 5 years. Sorry, Gavin. It was Gavin McElroy. I looked up to Gavin McElroy because he was militant in everything he done. And I looked up to that approach and thought, wow, jeez,
He hasn't changed either.
Honest to God. and there were only a few years between us, but I did right from I watched him, you know, in the '87 minor years and going up and then into senior football, and stalwart. Like, I do look up to the like of that player, you know.
He's a serious club man now. He's
Stop.
unbelievable. Other than Park Columkill, what was your favourite ground to play in? Dungannon, yeah, O'Neill Park. Were there any standout managers that took your over the years that you latched onto more than maybe anybody, or maybe you learnt up from them all?
John Brennan. John Brennan, I thought, had a way about him, which was very unorthodox, and I just think his success isn't.
It's not a fluke.
A fly by night type thing. We had lots of good managers, you know, over the years. I enjoyed Monroe as a manager, but I would have to say John Brennan to 2001 to me was one of the best.
Yeah. Any regrets?
Yes. Success at senior level, I think I underachieved. I think the team I played in underachieved in the 90s.
Ulster-wise or?
Ulster-wise,
yeah.
Ulster-wise and in Tyrone. I think what happened, as you well know, in the mid 90s, one way or the other, contrived to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a discussion with a certain fellow from Eric here way back years ago, and a few babies in us, and I remember, you know, a bit hated, never any animosity, but a bit hated, and we were both retired at the time. You know, he said only for yous we would have 3 or 4 or 5 Ulster clubs, and I says only for yous we would have won 10 in a row, which I believe we would have from 95. 97 was disrupted, so that's a huge regret. Yeah. The Ulster clubs against Castleblaney and Mayo Bridge and Omagh, to me personally, were huge regrets. I think the mid 90s team and the 2001 team could have got to an Ulster club, could have won an Ulster club, but
yeah. Was there any standout trainers that you know, the people that you played along with for training wise, you know, the person that was there first at training and pulled everybody with them, or?
It wouldn't be Wee Barney or Fergal. It's definitely not. Wee Barney or Fergal were always late. So good players, but always late. Standout trainers. Gary Donnelly. Wee Ned. Sorry, Ned. Standout trainers. God. Michael Roy. Gaby.
Raymond.
Could just run, Curly could run to the second year, you know, and we're always.
Raymond had it down as a Steagle, Fergal, that no matter how tough the training got, Fergal laughed even more.
Oh, I did that, but that was frustrating you, so that to me is not the essence. No. Training, Fergal could run and move his eyes like that, like an action man. He's all brown, and Fergal could run for Ireland, you know. But, but again, don't forget that we started training at 7:30, Fergal arrived 10 to 8. So we had 20 minutes of training done. So that's why I can't say he's one of the best, good lad, but definitely not. But Fergal would just thump you in training and then laugh at you and pick you up when you're in pieces. So
who was the worst trainer?
Peter Kerr, because Peter no matter many times, great lad, but you know, economy of effort, and Peter had to get watching Coronation Street every evening and eating his dinner, and then his dinner would be down along the sideline. So, you know, you knew when you seen Jack coming behind you, the next thing you get a bit of Q and Ralph, and you wouldn't even run around, you'd say, Jack, Jesus Christ. So you go on quicker to get rid of the smell. But Jack was a poor trainer. Wee Jackie didn't like the numbers game, you know, and just didn't like running. But then, because he didn't like running much either, but he danded about, but that was him. So.
Nobody said nothing to him.
Not at all, no way.
No. Who's the biggest character in the dressing room? I'd say you're probably in contention. I'd say you're bound to be in contention for this.
The Jenner?
The
Jenner was a big character. The Jenner had a nether region, right, it was for places just to be sore when he'd be training, you know, Vaseline. So it would be the Jenner would be well up there, and he was good crack. He was a good fella. But there was lots of characters, lots of funny boys, lots of tricks played. You know, his older brother Raymond was a rascal too in the showers. But anyway.
Who was the biggest hothead that you ever played with?
Any Apache McAleer's ones.
Funny, you're the second person maybe to say that.
Oh really?
Yes.
No. The rest of them is probably all right, but I'd say Connor, and Kieran, wee Paddy, you know, I think one Paddy played a bit, but the two McAleers were absolutely crazy. Gaby as well, but Gaby was justified, you know, the two McAleer lads didn't like anybody, sometimes didn't even like the players they were playing with, you know, but that was just, you were going, will you give it a rest a second? But a good lads. But,
very good. Who was the most underrated player that you played with, do you think?
Good question. Underrated. That's a good question, Roland. I'll tell you why, because most of the boys I played with, especially senior football, were rated, and they were rated very highly. And Curley,
Yeah, he's a serious player too.
Lougher.
Dermot had some 2001. I know he was sent off in the final, but
very underrated player. But was them two boys were very much the mechanisms. People knew about other players, but them two were exceptional. I'll just tell you who was also extremely underrated, even outside the club, but was rated inside the club. Decky Toby, who lugged it in goals all over a very important period, and you know what? Was playing second fiddle most of the time to Big Oz. Never said a word. Shut his mouth, went on.
Possibly was Big Oz's best compliment. You know.
Correct. And I saw them. You ask any of our wee Kearney, Barney, Petey Dochern, any of them hitting shots. He was some
a great keeper.
Shot stopper.
He'd have been a goalkeeper for any other club in Tyrone.
Fantastic. The best keeper not to be a steady keeper, I'd say in Tyrone.
Without a doubt.
For the senior team, like.
Who's the best underage player you've ever seen?
One of the two Gormleys, Vincent or Brian, when they were that age. Right now, I think Brian Conway is going to have a huge say in senior football. We're laced with good wee players. Brian Conway, I like Matty McCallan. I think he's underrated too and ruthless, but he's standoutable. But Brian Conway, among many, is something that could play around midfield for us for many years as a ferocious engine.
Yeah. Have you any standout funny moments? Just one funny moment that stands out in your head from you playing senior football for Charraig Mhor? Something unusual?
One of the first years I was playing, and I caught the ball in midfield and started off on a solo run up the pitch and gave a class kick pass into the Trinnick full forward line, and somebody shouted, "You're playing the wrong way." And I looked and I goes, "Jesus, so on." But then he kicked it wide, so
you were alright.
I knew how it came, but it was very, very funny. Also, sorry, just one more. Shane McCartan was involved in our management team, and it was his birthday. Shane was black as ace of spades, hair all over the place. So it was snowing outside, and we were singing, and we all grabbed it, and he was as strong as a bull. And we threw him into the snow, took his top off, and threw him he was naked as the day he was born, threw him right into the snow, and we laughed for an hour after.
I don't think he probably didn't appreciate it.
No, he didn't, but it was very funny.
Well, that concludes our 16 questions, and thanks very much, Jamie, and we'll hopefully touch base again. Good luck.
No bother.
Good luck.